Greetings viewers and subscribers. Before we go into the story, the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says based on modeling, up to 1.5 million Jamaicans may contract COVID-19. Dr. Tufton said a minority of these positives will need hospitalization and the vast majority will have to home quarantine. He said, the more positive cases we have, the more people will have to get well at home once they are asymptomatic. The overwhelming majority will have no need to be placed in a hospital setting. They can stay at home. Once they have somewhere to isolate, they will get well over time. Now, how can we prevent this? Dr. Tufton said, assume that everyone you come into contact with is a positive COVID-19 case. Cases are going to pop up any and everywhere. So we are encouraging persons. Wear your mask. Don't follow nobody a chat about no new world order and no foolishness. Sanitize your hands at all times. Follow the safety protocols. Social distancing. We are living in a different time now, people, and we have to understand, say, we have to protect our loved ones. We have to be careful. We have to do what is necessary to ensure that we stay COVID free. I mean, sometimes we do all we can and we still end up with it, but let it not be said that we didn't do what we should do. Now on to today's story. Detectives in St. Ann Police Division have charged 36 years old Craigian Rattray of civil rights settlement in the parish for several crimes following an incident in the community on Sunday, August 2. Reports are that Craigian had a dispute with his wife, during which he set the family's shop ablaze with them inside. The police and the fire department was summoned, which rescued Craigian, his wife, and her 13-year-old brother, who all received burns and were taken to hospital. Mrs. Rattray succumbed to her injuries on Thursday, August 6th, at a medical facility in Kingston, while both her brother and her husband were admitted for treatment. Craigian was arrested and charged for murder, arson, and assault occasioning grievous bodily harm on Tuesday, September 1, that is last week Tuesday. He was taken before the St. Ann Parish Court on Wednesday, September 2, where he was offered bail in the sum of $1 million with surety. He is to return to court on Wednesday, September 30. Now that report was taken from the Jamaica Observer newspaper. But we have seen the official report and we are going to go into more details as to what might have resulted in this. Now, what we are learning is that on Saturday the 1st of August 2020, Raquel and Craigian, Raquel built a shop and she decided on doing a little shop opening. So on the Saturday evening, she had a shop opening. A few persons attended. It was kind of successful because the amount of persons that they were expecting didn't turn out because of the COVID pandemic and thing. So later in the night, about some minutes after 12, when everything was over, Raquel and Craigian, they had an argument. Now, Craigian is a steward. He worked on a ship on a popular cruise line. He was one of the persons who were out at sea for a while during the time when they were having this thing where persons were on ship and couldn't come back to Jamaica because the border was closed. Well, Craigian was one of those persons. So in the night after the party and after the shop opening, they were there and they were checking the money. And when they checked, according to Craigian, some money couldn't be accounted for. This night, I don't know if he was drunk or anything, but they had a dispute over some missing money according to him. What Craigian did was they were outside arguing. He went inside of the shop and started throwing goods outside. They start flinging goods outside. Raquel, on seeing this, went inside of the shop. She was accompanied by her 13-year-old brother. Now, remember, what I am looking at is the official report. And this is an allegation. This is the allegation. Craigian is still presumed innocent until he is convicted by a court of law. So I am not finding him guilty for anything. I'm just looking at the official report and telling you what is in it. So Raquel was still there arguing with Craigian. The allegation is that Craigian picked up a jug with gasoline and doused the shop. I don't know where he got the gasoline from, but he picked up a jug with gasoline and doused the shop. Based on the official report, she must have thought it was a jester, because after she saw him douse the shop with the gasoline, she was still there arguing with him. So the allegation is that after Craigian doused the shop with gasoline, he took out a lighter and just light the shop with all three of them inside. Craigian, Raquel, and Raquel's 13-year-old brother. So Raquel was set ablaze. So she walked out covered with fire. Some persons who were nearby came and assist and took her to the hospital. It wasn't the police nor the fire personnel, according to the observer, that took any of them to the hospital. It was some persons who were nearby that took Raquel and her 13-year-old brother to the hospital. We don't know how Craigian got to the hospital. When Raquel was at the hospital and the police were informed, the police were at the hospital and they saw when Craigian came in. Now Craigian, both his legs were badly burned. Raquel was treated and transferred to a medical facility in Kingston and she died 4 days later. Craigian, all this time, was still in hospital. So he was taken to court last week, Wednesday, the 2nd of September, because he was still in the hospital, so the police didn't charge him. He was in the hospital under police guard. So it was when he was actually released from the hospital last week, Tuesday, the 1st of September, that the police formally charged him and take him before the court the Wednesday morning, where because of his extensive injuries and maybe other factors, he was granted bail by the parish court judge. Now, he was offered bail in the sum of $1 million, but my understanding is that because of the extent of his burn, he will have to have somebody around him at all times because he's badly burned. Now, a lot of persons is going to say, well, he deserved it. What do you think? Do you think he should have been granted bail under the circumstances? Or do you think he should stay in a jail and rotten, as enough people would say? At the end of the day, he will still be facing the courts. He will still be facing a judge and jury. And at that time, his fate will be decided. He's charged for murder, arson, and assault occasioning grievous bodily harm. Now, the murder is in relation to the death of his wife. The assault occasioning grievous bodily harm is in relation to his brother-in-law, that's his wife's brother. And the arson is in relation to the shop being burnt down. Remember, I said these are all allegations. Anyhow, he'll be facing the court. Let's see what happens. And remember, every man is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So let's wait and see how this one will turn out. Blessed love, everybody.